Kathy Daughn has had a fascination with horses since the time of her earliest memories.
I always wanted to ride horses, and as far back as I can remember, my parents were both city people, had no relationship to horses at all. And so why that was within me and why I was born that way, I have no idea.
Kathy volunteered at the Golden Gate Park Stables in San Francisco as a teen, and after graduating from high school, joined the Pony Club, where she learned dressage, Western pleasure, jumping, and some 3-day eventing.
The first cutting, you'll get a kick out of this, the first cutting I ever went to was in Del Mar, California at an Arabian cutting. The first cutting I'd ever seen. I can't tell you what year that was, but I was riding, I had a little mare that I showed in the bridle in the cow horse, and in English and in Western, and I needed another point on her, and they told me to get her in the cutting, and I'd never seen one before. I'd never seen a cutting. I thought that was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen, that a horse would do something like that all by itself.
In a stroke of good fortune, Kathy had a friend who was acquainted with Larry Reeder. Reeder needed help, and Kathy knew she needed to learn from someone of his caliber. So in 1980, she moved to Texas and worked 3.5 years at Reeder's facility.
I made a decision that I wanted to make something of my life and do it with horses. And had I not made that decision, there's just no telling where that would have ended up. It probably wouldn't have been very good. That was my school. That's what I considered college for me.
Kathy did win the National Cutting Horse Association Open Futurity, becoming the first woman to do so twice. After Reeder's, Kathy returned to California to work for Lindy Birch for 1 year before going out on her own. It was Birch who encouraged Kathy to get her NCHA judge's card, as well as become involved in NCHA governance.
You have to either be part of the problem or you're part of the solution. And if you're going to complain, you sort of need to step into that other part of the world to see what it's really like. So that's what I did.
Of working in a predominantly male-dominated training industry, Kathy said she is proud to see the trend of successful female trainers and non-pros continue to gain momentum.
We have to first thank Lindy. Lindy Birch is certainly a way shower in that aspect of it. And I was fortunate to work with her and have her be a mentor and a friend, like I've said before. And then you just have to decide. So I think I think women in this business is growing. It's tremendous.
Kathy has worked in various capacities to help the NCHA thrive and continue to innovate. She chaired the Trainers Committee, was vice chair of the Limited Age Event Committee, and has served on the Executive Committee.
When you're on the Executive Committee, when you go on it, what you really realize is everybody that goes on there is really trying to affect positive changes and trying to do a good job. I think in order to further the sport, create the money that we create, we have to be a moving forward association. I think we have to be fluid. I think we have to stay current. But to get on a cutting horse and experience that's just amazing, right? The thought process of a horse to do that and ignore you sometimes when they need to. That's pretty amazing. So I think the combination of politics and horses and cutting and making it a show, all those things kind of go hand in hand, and you just got to keep stirring it up. I think you just have to keep stirring it up and trying to make it be the best you can.
The Cuero, Texas professional trainer has achieved well over $4 million in NCHA earnings and is in the NCHA Riders Hall of Fame, the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame, and now the NCHA Members Hall of Fame.
The Western heritage itself, boots and spurs and Cowtown and all that, once you immerse yourself in it, means a lot. It means a lot to us that train horses. It means a lot to the people of Fort Worth and of Texas, and I think it means a lot in terms of our history. So I think my association with Fort Worth is just a love of what we do with these horses, and then becomes a love of the town and the surrounding area and being part of Texas. But to have your peers vote you in to something like this, I think is really quite an accomplishment. It just means that, you've done kind of your due diligence. You strive to accomplish every day to try to help somebody or some horse or some animal in some capacity.